All the way back in January of last year, Nintendo announced the development of their next Mario phone game, Mario Kart Tour. This game is another project birthed from their partnership with the mobile gaming giants DNA. After the announcement, however, the world was shrouded in darkness. The vague shimmer of summer of 2019 was the only beacon to guide us in our quest for knowledge. It wasn't until the next year where the mighty Nintendo gods sent message of a beta build available for a select few lucky Android users.
Sorry, Apple iOS peasants.
I was one of the lucky, one of the chosen few to experience the glory of the new phone game hotness, Mario Kart Tour. All joking aside, I'm really happy to have been randomly selected to try the game out, and I'm glad I'll be able to share this information with all of you. I will apologize in advance so if I can't provide you a lot of in-game footage. Nintendo kind of put an embargo on actual images and videos of the game, so in my attempts to keep myself from getting assassinated from the Nintendo ninjas always spying on me, I'm going to keep that stuff to a bare minimum. With all that out of the way, it's time to get off that couch, crack those fingers, and scorch the internet for leaks on this episode of Gonzo Media.
Mario Kart 64いよいよ登場。任天堂64でしか体験できない新しい迫力のバトルレース。2人、3人、4人対戦プレイなら超面白い。マリオカート64ツインカラーのコントローラーとセットで新発売。
The first thing that surprised me about Mario Kart Tour is how it actually plays like a normal Mario Kart game. When I first heard about the title, I was imagining something completely different. In my head, I thought it would have been kind of like a puzzle game where you play as a pit crew, having a certain amount of time to patch up each kart for it to enter back into the race. While I would still love for this to exist as a spin-off for a spin-off, I'm happy that DNA and Nintendo decided to take the approach that they did. Just like all of the other Nintendo collaborative phone games, Mario Kart Tour plays like a simplified version of the console games. In Tour, you control the game with one finger, which sadly means that members of the mashed Muddy Monstrosity, the world's greatest Lumberkida band, sadly cannot play this game. The game is set to auto drive, so your kart is constantly driving forward while you can use your finger to steer either right or left. You can activate grabbed items by just tapping on the screen, which is good for being quick with attacking other drivers, but it doesn't always feel very responsive. This might just be a personal issue, but there have been several times where an item I was saving gets used just because I put a little less pressure on my screen. I feel like a better way to handle items in this game would be for you to swipe up or down to determine which direction you want to throw your godlike Koopa shells in. Drifting was also simplified in order to work with the changed controls. Instead of hopping into a turn while steering drastically in the other direction you want to go, Tour allows you to drift by sliding your finger to a far side of the screen. Drifting has always been one of my keys to victory, so I'm glad they included it, even if it is in a simpler fashion. I also have to mention that the game seems to be exclusively online, so lonely single-player only people, this game is not for you. Outside of the controls, Tour is just another Mario Kart game. You have smaller versions of classic Mario Kart tracks, and each race lasts only 2 laps. I feel like this was done for pick up and play conveniences. All of the races are quick paced, and I appreciate that. All of the tracks in Tour are famous courses from previous games, and were remade and changed for this game instead of being directly ported into this adaptation. It's actually a pretty looking game with some good lighting and decently textured characters and environments. 50, 100, 150, and 200 CCs are also back, and kind of function as the difficulty of play. I haven't spotted a mirror mode yet, but due to this being just the beta, I'm honestly not too surprised. Cups have also been brought back for Tour, but instead of being based on items, they are based on characters instead. Each cup has 3 different courses in one single-player challenge race. The races are traditional Mario Kart fare, while the challenges actually function as hidden mandatory tutorials. These tutorials are actually kind of fun though, and are definitely a great way of teaching the game's more difficult mechanics. There are a lot of cups, 16 to be in fact. But before you get excited like I originally did and assume that means we get 48 different tracks to race on, we sadly do not. Unfortunately, a lot of the cups reused a lot of the tracks, to the point where a track was reused as early as the 3rd cup. Is this boring and lazy? Yes. Yes, it is. The game also features a MacGuffin called Grand Stars, since it isn't a Mario game if you aren't collecting some kind of cosmic item. It's only a matter of time until you play as Mario collecting cute little chibi cosmic horrors. You are awarded these Grand Stars by doing well in races, and they are needed to unlock future courses. Collecting a set amount of them also rewards you with new characters, carts, and items. The game also features some light RPG elements, which I believe is a first for the series. I feel like the arcade ones might have some elements like that as a form of incentive to keep people feeding them quarters. By the way, those games are legit fun and deserve a Switch port. Where else am I gonna be able to blast Don-chan with a Koopa shell as Pac-Man? As you race, you receive experience points which can level you up. Leveling up gives you nothing but stamina, an arbitrary limiter on how much time you can have fun with the game. Curse you, you dumb mobile game mechanics! You also earn coins that you can spend on items you can use during races. This feels like cheating though. A coupon that will let me spin a wheel and get items at any time during a race? Broken! Super unbalanced, OP as can be. I have to mention though, like a lot of other free mobile games, Tour has a lot of pay-to-win elements. Tour functions as a gacha game, and has everything that entails. Yes, you usually have to buy new characters and cart pieces, which are all based on a rarity system. Yes, you will get a lot of repeats. Yes, some characters will just be better than others. Like other gacha games, this game is obvious that it wants you to pay real money to be better than people who aren't spending real money. These elements are the worst part, and unfortunately I don't think any amount of complaining will remove them from the main game.
Tag Team, or else. Mario Kart Double Dash. Drive, throw stuff, switch. Only for Nintendo GameCube. Literally for everyone.
The gacha elements do bring some features I wouldn't mind being in main titles though. Having characters be able to use special character-specific items is fun. It needs to be brought back. It's definitely was one of the coolest features created in Double Dash. Certain carts or cart pieces that increase the odds of getting certain items is also really cool. I could live without characters or items leveling up though. It's cool to see your characters get better over time for sure, but it rewards just grinding up specific characters instead of actually getting good at the game. And I'm not super into that. Mario Kart as a franchise is already frustrating as it is. Losing to someone who is just faster than you because they have a max level Mario would just push that frustration over the breaking point. Mario Kart Tour is fun, and is definitely my favorite out of all of the Nintendo mobile games. If you can get past the obnoxious gacha mechanics, there is a lot of enjoyment to be had. Any Mario Kart fan has to check this game out, and I eagerly await for its full release in the upcoming months. As always, thank you for watching. If you're excited for Tour, let me know in the comments below. Maybe we'll race together sometime. Also, just in case you forgot, don't eat feral pastries.